Hey guys, welcome to Milling It Over again. I got my hair cut. Check me out. I've had it done for about a week, but I forgot to tell you guys. So anyway, I'm gonna make this really quick because Jen is actually on her way to my house and she just now sent me a text that said she'll be here in 10 minutes. So I'm very excited. But I wanted to participate really quickly in Milling It Over. The question this week is, Jen got an email and it said, "Dear Jen, as a very soon-to-be military wife, I've always thought military wives to be the quintessential 1950s housewife who has it all together. From what I have experienced thus far, this doesn't seem to be the case. Is my idea of a military wife so far off base from what I envisioned it to be? If so, do you feel that there are some aspects of the 1950s housewife that carry over into today's military wife? What about wives who embrace the pinup style? This also seems to be a huge trend among wives I've met thus far. Do you think this is a common trend among military spouses?" Alright, before I even watched Jen's video, I wanted to comment on this because I think it's not necessarily like a military spouse thing, but it's kind of this fun trend with wives all over to kind of do this whole pinup thing, but especially when people are deployed, that's a big thing, to just take some cute little pinup pictures and send them to your man overseas. And this is fun. I think it would be a fun thing to do, but I just don't. I'm incapable of making like sexy faces or anything like that. Completely incapable, so I wouldn't be very good at it, but it always looks like the women are having a good time. I don't know, I don't really think that's like a military spouse thing though. I think that's just a fun thing to do. I mean, we all like to play dress up, so anyway, moving on to a more important thing that I want to talk about is the 1950s housewife. We all have this idea of what that looked like. Mostly it's usually like the June Cleaver thing. I read a book once that my nan gave to my mom, and then I read it, and it's pretty hysterical. It'll probably offend most of you, but I liked it. Nan is the sweetest person in the entire world, and the book is very, I don't want to say backwards, because I think there's a lot that you can take from the book and use in your own marriage now. Maybe the ideas are sort of old school, but I like them. I like some of them. Now, some of them are just completely ridiculous, so I'll go ahead and throw that out there. But, so don't go out there and read that and say that Mrs. K said this was an awesome book and, that's my Bible, because it's definitely not. But it's called The Total Woman by, Maribel Morgan. And this book was written in the 70s, I think. But it has, a lot of the terminology is pretty funny. It'll say things like, be sure you adore your man, plan your day out, have your bath drawn by 4 so you can have dinner on the table by the time he gets home from work. Things like that. And well, it kind of makes me smile because I would never, I plan my day around Captain J getting home because I want him to feel welcome when he gets home, and I want to be put together if I can. It says that in the book too, that guys don't really want to come home to, no makeup and hair a mess and all that. And while it's a little ridiculous, I also understand that, and maybe it's growing up in the South. It's kind of been like a social thing, or a cultural thing, but I just think it's interesting because I do like to cling on to those roles. I'm by far anything that resembles a 1950s housewife. Just because I stay at home doesn't really mean anything, but I do like to, if I'm feeling like it, I like to be ready when he gets home, make him feel welcome, maybe have dinner cooking. At least he likes to eat later, so I don't have it on the table for him when he walks in the door because he probably wouldn't like that. But I think there are those little aspects that some women like to hold on to that are just kind of old school, but they're still true, I think. So I don't really think that it has much to do with the military spouse role. It's easier on me if I stay at home because, you know, we're wanting to start a family and all that. I don't plan to always stay at home. I just want to be at home while I have my babies. I want to spend as much time with them as I can. So it's definitely easier for me to be at home and play that whole role, you know, cook dinner, clean, all that stuff that the 1950s housewife did. It's easier for me to do that, and I don't take it lightly. I don't feel like I don't contribute anymore. I used to have issues with that, but now, you know, I feel like I'm doing something with my life. I'm taking care of our household, and I'm cooking dinner, and I'm growing this little baby. So I do have a purpose, and I'm okay with that. Just because it's changed drastically from when I was in college and what I wanted to do, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything to me now that I'm having to do this. I actually am starting to enjoy it. So as far as the military tying in with that, I think that a lot of people choose to do that because you do move so often that you know, it's hard to find a job every 2 to 3 years. Maybe you don't want to just get settled in somewhere and then have to move again. Or, you know, in the economy now, maybe it takes you a year to find that job anyway. And it's just frustrating. And if you're in school, it's hard to, now that we have internet options, it's a little better that you can get your degree online. But if you are going to college and your spouse is in the military, that's a problem that I ran into, because I started my master's and then I wanted to be with Jay when he went to Alaska. So yeah, it was kind of, I had to put that on hold. So it can be difficult, and maybe that's why a lot of people choose to try to fill that role. But I definitely think it's an updated housewife role. It's not the old school way of life, and I don't think that many people really think of it that way. I could be wrong. Civilians, what do you think? I mean, I'm a civilian too. I always like to throw that out there. Very aware of that, but non-military families, what do you think when you think of a military spouse? Do you think she's got it all together like that 1950s housewife, or do you think more realistically? Just a question. I'll see you next time.